Come manifest your best life with 190 Vision.
Hello, my name is Laura. My husband is the voice you're going to hear on the other end of this conversation, and we're part of 190 Vision. Have you ever wondered how your behavior or emotions or even activities you partake in affect how your brain functions? Honey?
Yes, the most beautiful, sexiest woman in the entire galaxy.
Well, thank you. So now, getting onto this topic here.
I wasn't done yet. What? Why you?
Oh, you stopped talking, so I figured you were done.
I just want to see a reaction. That's all.
Oh,
I like to see a lovely smile, and when I do that kind of stuff. So,
okay. Now
so
that
go
we
ahead.
got this out of the way,
Uh-huh.
will you please start off this conversation and let us know what your thoughts and or ideas are about how our daily activities or any activities we're involved in, our behavior or emotions affect the function of our brain or how our brain responds or reacts to things?
I don't know if our brain reacts. I'd say more respond, right?
Okay.
Because the brain doesn't have emotions. It's us that have emotions, and that's what react normally means. It's based on emotions in
Yeah.
my world. Um, well, to answer that question, let's go over some basics of the brain. And this is not a biology lesson. It's more of a maybe physics lesson, really. Very basic. And that is, we'll discuss the brain waves, the different types of brain waves.
Okay.
So, to start out with, the lower the brain frequency or brain wave, no, the lower the frequency, the more in tune you are with yourself and with the spiritual realm. How about that? I'll put it that way. Some people might say source, universe, God. I'll just say with the spiritual realm.
All right.
The higher the frequency, the more you are in touch with the outer world. Okay?
All right.
So there are there are five types of frequencies, brain frequencies, that are normally discussed. Three of those, but let's say two of those, well, three of those are what we'd say, and you're in the inner world. You're inside, you're within you. Okay? You know, they say that if you want to find your deepest secrets, go within.
Yes.
That's what one activation will always tell individuals. Don't waste your time doing research. You know, people always want to go look up more things on YouTube or they want books to read. And we always say it's all inside of you. Depend on your team. Let your team guide you, your spiritual team. Let destiny masters or God guide you from within. Well, those three levels that are within that will help you accomplish that are starting from the lowest frequency, delta, then there's theta, there's alpha. Above those, you know, you're not getting into the world that you deal with on a daily basis. Okay?
Okay.
To deal with the physical realm, we depend on your five senses because that's what they talk about, right? I know we talk about six senses, but let's just pretend one of them doesn't exist. So we're talking about the five senses. Um, when you react to something or when you're dealing with people, you're at these levels. And I'd say that's the beta and the gamma level. Okay? So we're not going to spend too much time on gamma because the more common ones are the beta, starting from the top, alpha, theta, and then delta.
Okay.
So the more time you spend, for example, at beta, then the more time you're spending in the physical world. Okay, we'll get into that some more later. So if you're dealing in the physical world alone, how do you get to understand yourself better? I mean, how easy is it to do so, you think?
I don't think it's very easy, just from my experience.
Why do you say that?
Because I was told that a lot from the time I was a teenager until I was in my early 20s before the teachings found me here. And I was trying all kinds of things, but I was very much in this world where thinking about um, constantly thinking about business and earning an income and setting up my life and just focused on how to make this physical experience the best one for myself. And even though people would say, oh, you need to find your true self, everything that I was um, being taught, I'll say, or things that were being shared with me, still went back to this whole physical life. You know, you need to go on a trip and just spend time by yourself. Well, by doing that, it really didn't help me because I had no idea what I was doing. So I hope that answers the question a bit. But from my experience, spending time in the beta definitely does not help one to really find out who they are and more about themselves because you rely on physical things around you. And sometimes we think the physical things define us.
That makes sense. So it might help you a little bit, but it's not as effective, right? Is pretty much what you're saying.
Right. Not
Because
for me.
you might go to workshops or conferences, and those are very motivational. So we'll
Hmm.
come back to that. So that's better. Now at the alpha level, um, of course, you start to get a little within yourself. But let's take this back a little bit to even before we're born, so you can kind of get a better picture of what I'm attempting to paint here.
Okay.
You've had the experience where we've had souls, baby souls, come and contact me and give me information to give to their parents, right?
Hmm.
And this is before the babies are born.
Correct.
Okay. And the parents normally confirm that the information they're being given makes sense to them, right? It resonates with them. The best ones are when the babies say, "Well, I want my room to be this color," or "This is my favorite food." Then they're born, and sure enough, that's the way it turns out.
Hmm.
To me, that proves that a soul exists even before conception, right? First of all, but most importantly, at the delta level, because that's where you are at that point. And before you're born, you're at the delta level, which means that you're more in tune with the universe. You can see a whole lot more than a human being that's already in the physical. And that's what delta does. That's what delta allows you to do. Of course, as that baby now develops and the baby moves into the theta level, right? And by the way, that goes by age. You know, so at delta, um, a baby will be there from before they're born to about 2 years old.
Oh, wow.
And that's why you can see a baby falling asleep or they're fully asleep, but their eyes are open.
Hmm.
Okay. And that happens a lot because they're aware. I mean, they're literally busy doing things, but they're within themselves. They're not in this world at all, in the physical world, even though people think that they are. And then we go to theta, and that's between the ages of 3 to 6. And at that point, they're beginning to experience the outer world a bit, but they're still within themselves. They spend a lot of time, um, I'd say, imagining things, right? And we'll
Hmm.
get to that some more later because they're creating things where they are. They're in tune with their spirit guides. They spend time with them. And for someone that doesn't believe in any of that, then they probably think, okay, these guys are really just in an imaginary world. And then we go to alpha. All right, so from the age of 7 to about the age of 12, they're now at alpha. And that's when they start to experience the outer world. They start to see things, and people are telling them what's right and what's not right. Even it's happening between 3 and 6, it doesn't register that much with them. That's when people say the kids don't listen. But it's because they're in a different world altogether. At alpha, between 7 and 12, things are beginning to hit them now. They're beginning to realize, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to do this, or this is where this works. They start to experiment with things using their five senses. All right?
Okay.
And then, of course, from 13, now look at how this relates, right? From 13 up, they're not at beta. They're more connected with the physical world. They're busy dealing with what's going on and what they can sense with their five senses. Now, why do I say look at how this relates? Do you know?
I would think because when kids become teenagers, that's when they are very much so into, as parents see it, like rebelling and wanting to do their own thing, and they think they know it all already.
You get it now? So if you notice, that's right when they spend most of the time at beta, when they now are experiencing the physical world all the time or most of the time. Is it a coincidence? I don't think so, but some people might say it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now let's go back and revisit each one of these.
To hear the rest of this story, go to 190 Vision TV on Roku TV or Amazon Fire.